Alright, guys, so I said I would record about this rabbi's episode that I listened to. His name is Rabbi Shais Taub, Shaistaub. That's his first and last name. So Rabbi Shais Taub, his title in the episode is, I don't know if I can really see the title. I'm driving. I probably shouldn't be looking at my screen. So basically, the topic was about spirituality. I don't know if I can fully see the title on here. Let me see. I gotta sit at a long light, so if I can sit at this long light for long enough to see it. Practical spirituality, an overview of Tanya. So Tanya is from what I understand, it's a book. It's a Chabad book. It's the way Rabbi Taub explains it is that it was originally written in pamphlets and then bound as a book. And it was written as if one is going to talk to a spiritual advisor of some kind. So say if you have a question, or if I had a question, and I'm like the last episode, what is a spiritual matter? And I kind of decided to talk about something that I'm familiar with, because I've talked about it before, about something that I have a difficulty with that I don't mind discussing, because it came up today, and interestingly enough, I was way more aware of it today, some reason, somehow, but kind of being irritable with people. So today, I ordered groceries while I was working, and they didn't come for a really long time, and I didn't notice that they still had my San Diego address, the San Diego address when I had visited and ordered groceries from the hotel. It had that information about what hotel room to drop off, second floor, like in the corner or whatever, room number, please leave outside the door, kind of thing. But we have a house and there's no apartment numbers, and I saw on the app that the delivery driver was kind of sitting there for a while. I was like, what's taking him so long? And I guess he tried to contact me, and then I heard my mom kind of like at the door, and I was a little bit like, okay, I hear her talking to the delivery guy, and I'm like, okay, let me check my phone. And I was about to go outside because I realized she's talking to him, and then I look and I see, that one part was edited, that I put the right address and everything, but then there was a second part that still said all that stuff about like the room number. And then, I'm in the middle of work. This is like around 1 p.m. or so, and the food's late. Didn't really get to eat a good hearty breakfast because I just lately haven't been feeling a very heavy appetite in the morning some reason. And so by this point I'm kind of grouchy. I'm like, a little hangry, and I'm thinking to myself, at one point I'm gonna have to come out of my room and pause work so I can take my lunch break, and I'm already feeling irritable. I'm kind of hangry, and I'm like, I gotta go out here, and I hope I don't kind of snap, not like snap like in some major, like I'm gonna like flip out, but like not have like a moment, an irritability moment of being like too rude or too direct or too just like annoyed, because my mom was like talking to this guy, and I know, I hear her bringing in the groceries, but I'm like in the middle of doing something for work. I can't remember what it was, so I couldn't really leave that. And she comes and like knocks on my door, like, did you get groceries? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm already thinking like, okay, what if I'm on the phone with a client and like you're asking me questions through the door? So I'm kind of like annoyed. I hate working from home, because even when you tell people, please don't talk to me while I'm working, even when you see me out in public, but if you see me out in a public space, in an open space, don't talk to me. If you don't see me out in an open space, like, don't talk to me, because I might be in a meeting, I might be talking to my boss, like, it's kind of weird and embarrassing when you have like your mother or other people like talking to you through the walls or through the door or whatever. And it doesn't happen a lot, but it's like, I don't think there's a way to 100% not have family or roommates or whoever talking while you're working. I've never met one person who can just like leave it alone and never talk, And so she's talking. I'm a little annoyed by that, but I'm kind of like, I just kind of open my door. I'm like, yes, I ordered groceries, and then shut the door. And I realize what's going on, and then I know she's going to explain it to me. And it's like, I already know, but I'm kind of waiting, because it's like, I can't be like in the middle of this conversation while I'm doing something. And so I realized I was irritable, and then eventually I go outside to kind of address this, because I have to like eat still. And so I'm like trying to prepare my lunch. And then my mom starts telling me what happened. I'm like, oh yeah, I already know, I noticed, but like I can't do anything about it after the fact. And I'm working, so I can't be just like back and forth, because mind you, the groceries took like maybe 4 hours to get delivered, which is fine, because I didn't want to pay the extra $3 for the faster delivery. And it took almost 4 hours, I think, for them to get delivered. And so I tipped very nicely, but I was like, I don't have all day to be like waiting, and texting this person and all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm in the middle. The whole point is I'm trying to get groceries while I'm working. So but I was able to kind of realize that, I might have a bit of a hanger irritability moment there. And I was able to kind of like, deal with that, just because I was like, well, I'm going to get annoyed if she starts explaining this whole thing to me, because I already know, and I'm not in the mood to talk about it. I just kind of want to make my lunch and relax for 30 minutes, because we only get a 30-minute freaking lunch, and it's not even a paid lunch, but I have to take it. So it's like, let's get this lunch, So, I dealt with that. I dealt with it. I actually feel like there was some improvement there. Now, it wasn't like some major thing, some major breakthrough where I was like, oh, like I healed everything that I've ever, had an issue with is now officially healed. Like, that's not, that's not the case. But, I did, find a way to kind of realize how I was feeling and not act rudely towards someone who's just trying to help me. She's not trying to get on my nerves. She's just trying to help and be motherly. And it was actually very helpful that she talked to the guy and brought in the groceries. Like, maybe they would have canceled it and taken the groceries back, then I would have had to do the whole thing, and I wouldn't have had a healthy lunch. I would have ended up back with like a reheated KFC or something, which is delicious, but I'm trying to reach my health goals. I can't be eating KFC like 2-3 days in a row. I need healthy groceries, and so I was kind of realizing that, and I kind of noticed that that was an improvement, like it wasn't maybe like a big deal, but at least I don't feel like I made somebody feel bad. I don't feel like, oh man, messed it up again today kind of thing. I try to be nice to people, but I don't know, like, I'm working on it. If I don't eat well, if my levels with things just aren't going well, I don't feel well, and I'm not going to act like I feel well. Like, it's really hard for me. I'm not the only one, but I know it's not an excuse. But I'm working on it. And so I felt kind of like, okay, some improvement there. So anyways, that was nice. But I also, kind of was wondering about some things. I was kind of feeling like, okay, like, I don't really know, like, what is going to be, like, like, what it's coming next. But I started listening to this episode that I had fallen asleep to last night. I don't know how I came across even listening to it, but I came into listening to it and wanted to finish it. And so I just started finishing it, basically. And so I don't know if I can park here. Nobody else is parked here. What does it mean when there's like a little black and orange, little black and orange little curb looking things? Like an orange stripe. Does that mean I can't park there? No one else is parked there, so. Oh man. So yeah, basically, I came across this guy's episode again today during work, because I was like, I wanna actually finish this because it was really good. And so I started listening, and I was actually enjoying it. Like, I was like, this is really good. This is really cool. And so I just basically listened to the whole thing during work, and I'm glad that I did. It was really nice. And it did talk a lot about spirituality. I don't really want to spoil it all for everybody, because people might want to listen. But yeah, it was a really pretty interesting episode. So I don't even know if I can park here. There's so many places, I don't know where I can park. This is hospital P3. Alright, well, I guess I can park here. There's other people parked here. I don't see any IDs or badge things. Let's see what happens.